to my channel. Sass here. I'm here for another recap of Inmate to Roommate. One more episode left and that will be the season finale. I have enjoyed this show. I really have. So let's just get into it. Let's start off with Sandra, Nick, and Kyle. So Nick, he want a little friend over to have a little slumber party. He want a sleepover. Y'all remember that hard-faced girl that he done met at the Mardi Gras? Well, now that's his girlfriend. Sandra said, you ain't bring her up in my house. We have told you we don't want no strays. We don't want no women. We don't want no extra DNA up in our house. It ain't happening. And plus, Sandra says that she believes that Nick is getting high. So they're having a discussion. Nick said, I don't really see what the problem is with me bringing someone here. Okay? We ain't gonna be all over sleeping on the couch. I ain't gonna be blowing out the back. We ain't gonna be eating up your food. I just want to take her to my room and watch a movie. Is that right, Nick? Y'all ain't gonna do no risky business. I think the F not. Especially when you say that she lives 2 hours away. Which means she's gonna spend the night. But no risky business. Okay, Sandra said you ain't soiling my sheets. Okay, I had to burn the last ones. So Nick, he says that, hey, he lives there. He ain't causing no problems. And he don't see what the problem is. Sandra is just being unreasonable. And then all heck broke loose. Sandra said, I know you're getting high. She said, I know you're getting high. She said, that's what you're doing. She said, you're out there doing things you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be in recovery. You're supposed to be helping yourself. You're drinking every day. You ain't doing nothing. Where the job at? She didn't say that. I added that in. You still driving around with no license and no tags and no insurance? But you worry about hard-faced girl that you done met at Mardi Gras girl. So she says, why can't you go to her house? Excellent question. Why can't you? Is it out of state? It's only 2 hours away. You're driving illegally already. You might as well go to her house. I wonder why you can't. Now, Sandra said, I didn't say this. Sandra said that this girl is a recovering addict and she heard that this girl was on some heroin. Ain't that what she said? And she said those two together is not a good duo. So here is Nick. Nick said, you're going to be sitting here accusing me of getting high. And she said, well, you seem like you was high. He said, how you know? He said, how you know? She said, because your eyes. She said, your eyes dilated. They was like golf balls. And she said, the way you were acting, she said, I know what somebody high look like. Sandra, is there something you need to tell us? See, either Sandra is a recovering addict herself, or she's been around someone who is an addict. One or the other, because she was passionate about this. She said, I know what I'm talking about. And she also said she don't want to be around it anymore. So when she accused Nick of this, he goes off. He said, man, I ain't got to listen to this. I'm done. I'm done. So he walks into his room. He's saying he's done. He said, get this mic off me. Get this mic off me. I'm done. I'm done. You ain't going to be accusing me of something I ain't do. So here's Sandra. She's like this, doing her knitting or crocheting or whatever she's doing. She was like, why you being so defensive? If you ain't getting high, why ain't you being so defensive? She just kept on crocheting. So Nick, he was out the door. Now, as he was leaving, here comes Kyle. Kyle said, what is happening? What is going on? And so Nick said, I'm out. So Nick, he leaves. Kyle says, Sandra, what is going on? Sandra said, listen, I told him that him and Mardi Gras girl ain't gonna be laying up in this house. She ain't coming over. That's one of the rules, right? And and by the way, I also accused him of getting high. And so, you know, Kyle, I think Kyle wants to defend Nick, but he got his wife to think about. Okay? I think that he wants to see the best in Nick, but he got Sandra to think about. That's your woman. You gonna go against your woman? Okay, well, you gonna be in the life of hell. So, Kyle said, what happened? So, Sandra is telling him what went down. And she said, I believe that he's getting high. She said, I really do believe that. She said, I think he's out here getting high. And so, here comes Nick calling Kyle. So, he's explaining himself. Sandra is talking. And Kyle said, will you shut up? Just be quiet. I'm trying to listen to this. I'm trying to understand what happened. So Sandra said, I done told you what happened. Okay? He wanted to bring that girl home. She ain't coming over here. Ain't he getting high? I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. So, here's Nick. How dare she? She's accusing me. I'm not getting high. Nick says that Sandra thinks that he is taking some pills. And look, I don't know if Nick is getting high. I don't know if he's getting high or not. She the one living there. If she's familiar with what causes somebody or looks like around here that says that you get high, oh well. Prove it. Nick, it's an easy way to prove it. Take a drug test. I mean, take a drug test. It will solve all these problems. All of this will go away. If you pass, you can tell Sandra to kiss your ass, okay? But if you fail, oh well. Mardi Gras girl ain't coming over, I know that. You're gonna have to drive 2 hours. Let's move on. Talk about Artie and Jovan. Jovan back in the house, y'all. Artie is a forgiving person. Jovan back up in the house. Her son is up in the house. Jovan is cooking some eggs. Honey, he said, listen, I know I cut a shine. I know I disrespected this woman's house. I know I disrespected Artie. And I had to tuck my tail in between my legs and apologize to this woman and her son. She let me back in, and I gotta do better. Artie said that she know Jovan was out of pocket the way he acted. But Artie's all for second chances. She says she know how it is. They all good. Everyone's at peace. So Artie went a step further. Artie done hooked Jovan up with some contacts to start his business. Now see, Jovan wants to start a cleaning business. Not only did Artie hook him up with some contacts, she gave him some money to start off. Jovan, you better not utter another word to this woman. Not another word. You can say a whole lot, but one thing you can't say is Artie ain't been good to you. Because she has. She has. So he goes to this business where he can, buy all these cleaning supplies and get started. And he's talking to the woman. Why is it that all of the inmates, or the majority of the inmates, when they meet a complete stranger, they gonna tell them I was in prison? You know, I was in prison for 8 years. I was in prison for 3 years. I done chopped somebody's hand off. I'm good. I mean, why do you think you need to tell that person that? That person don't need to know none of that. And if the person says, well, what these cameras about? Don't worry about it. Can we film here? It's okay. We can blur out your face. And then when they tell the people that they fresh out of prison, the camera person always zooms in on the person's face to see what their reaction is. What do you think their reaction is going to be? So the woman was like, all right, ring-a-ding-ding. Good luck to you. So Javon has a step in the right direction. I'm all for it. If he can stick with it, be about his business, make that money, and try to have a connection with his daughter, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Prove yourself. If you don't prove yourself, you best believe nobody else ain't going to be falling behind you. So, he's talking to Artie. Artie says that she done had a flare-up because y'all know that she got that bone disease. Artie was sitting there on that couch. I was like, girl, did you take you a pain pill? Did you take you a relaxer? Honey, she was like this. She was feeling no pain, child. And so Javon and Artie was talking about his daughter, wanting to see his daughter, and he's asking, you know, Artie, you know, for some advice. Then we get a good old knock on the door. Are you Javon whatever? He said, yes, I am. You've been served. I said, not you've been served. You got served. See, on Life After Lockup, Love After Lockup, that was the name of their episode. You got served. I was like, where Marion at? Y'all, which one is a better movie? You Got Served or Stomp the Yard? Put it down below, child. That's the question of the day. You Got Served or Stomp the Yard is a better movie? Pop it up. Pop it up. Da 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 da. So anyway, so he got served divorce papers, honey, because he's still married, all right? And his wife done had enough. I mean, he wasn't upset by it. He said, listen, it's been done, okay? I cheated on her. She wasn't having it, and that was that on that. But he still wants to have a relationship with his daughter. And so, you know, Artie said, listen, I help any way I can, okay? If you want me to talk to her, I talk to the daughter's mother, okay? I see what I can do. Javon said, I appreciate that. Now, that's a lot on Artie. I wouldn't have, look, that's none of my business. That's just me. I know Artie wants to help Javon, but when you come in between a mother and her daughter and you ain't kin, you don't know these people? Oh, no. Oh, no. If Javon's soon-to-be ex-wife look at Artie and say, mind your business. This ain't got nothing to do with you. You don't know our history. Then Artie should be like, enough said. Enough said. Because, honey, you get into tricky territory when you start, you know, putting your nose in somebody else's family business. Especially when you're not family. But anyway, Artie said that she'll go talk to the mother. Let's move on. Y'all, DQ done got fired. F-I-R-E-D. You're fired. Honey, he done got fired. Now, he had 2 jobs. He worked at a factory and he worked in construction. And he done got fired from both. They were through temp agencies. And one of the jobs said, listen, we didn't have nobody show up. We are short. We need for you to come in. DQ, you should have went to work. What were you doing? Okay? What were you doing? Your butt should have been up and ready. But you didn't make it in. And so they said, okay, well, you didn't come in. You're showing us you're not serious. You're at a temp agency, DQ. You got to prove yourself first. They said you fired. So when the other company heard that he didn't show up for that job, when they called and asked him to show up, they said, well, you're not responsible. You're not reliable. You got to go. So they let him go. See, DQ, you're already at the bottom because of your history. And those people who gave you a job thought to themselves, you know what? I'm doing you a favor. You're a dime a dozen. I'm doing you a favor. So we can let you go very easily. We don't have to discuss it with you. We don't have to give you a break. So he's upset. He's pissed off. He's telling, Dr. Henry this. Dr. Henry said they just fired you just like that. For both jobs. DQ said, yeah. He said, you know what? I'm so upset. I'm so pissed off. I'm going to walk it off. And walk it out. And walk it out. And walk it out. So he went. He cooled off. He says that no one, he says that it's hard for him to work because he is a felon. He's fresh out of prison. And this is what happens. He says that it is discouraging. Okay, he says that it makes him contemplate going back to being in the street pharmaceutical business. DQ, I don't want you to do that. God, I do not want you to do that. He also says that where he's from, he can't go back to that. Because if he does, he's going to end up in prison. Okay, it's not stable. He's going to end up sleeping on someone's couch and couch surfing. It's no stability there. So he does have stability at Dr. Henry's. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? So he goes back. He's feeling down. He's talking to Dr. Henry. And again, here's Dr. Henry. He says, you know what? I think I can help you out with this. I can hook you up with a job. I can get you something to do. Now, Dr. Henry has already hooked him up or tried to hook him up with a job before. It fell through because DQ was late. So now, here Dr. Henry is again. Hooking him up with another job. Or getting him in the path, in the direction of a job. I like Dr. Henry. When we first started this, I was like, ew, Dr. Henry, boo. Boy, am I wrong. I really think that Dr. Henry has the best interest for DQ. I really think that. And I also think that if DQ stays on the straight and narrow, take this job or whatever job, if he gets a job, if he takes it seriously, DQ can stay out of prison. I have said I am rooting for this young man. I am rooting for him. So, all right, DQ. You falling, okay? You're falling, but you can bounce right back. One day at a time. Don't get discouraged. You can do this. Let's move on. Last and most certainly least, I've been locked out. I've been locked out. Honey, Bill done came home, child. His key wasn't working. He was a ding-a-lang. He was trying to doogalooga. And honey, that key said, not today, buddy. Because see, Smushmate's Mall, he done changed the locks. Bill said, oh, so they done changed the locks on me. How great is this? See, they done changed the lock. Oh, what have I done to deserve this? Because see, Bill, it's all about him. It's all about me, me, me. What I've been through. How you treated me. How dare you. Bill, you're not innocent in this. Okay? Now, Hardbane Sharna and Mark, they got their own issues. But Bill, you're not innocent. See, whether you like it or not, you were underneath their roof. And you done told this grown man to go F off. See, that would have been it for me. I would have had you walking. But they're a special kind of special. They're Christians. So he calls Mom. Mom said, we at the good old ball game, and you can sit there till we get there. So 25 minutes later, child, they pull up in their baseball gear. I was like, okay, take me out to the ball game. And so Bill said, well, what's going on? Why you changed the locks? And so Shauna said, you've been cutting up. I ain't been trusting you. You've been doing some devilish things. You've been antagonizing us, even in California. You're sending those weird texts. You're bothering us. Now, Bill said that they've been terrorizing him. That he could hardly enjoy himself in California because of Sharna and Mark's texts. I couldn't tell because you was up there eating lobster. You was in the pool. And so Sharna said, listen, I don't feel comfortable with you being here, and you got to go. Call your PO, get a hotel, but you ain't staying here. You can get a couple of items, and then you got to go. And then here's Bill. What about me? Sharna, I thought you was my friend. This ain't how you treat friends. Why you treat me like this? She was like, listen, I done said what I said. I don't feel comfortable with you here. You accusing me of things. You're a liar. So then here is Mark. Mark is like, you can't stay here, okay? You have been treating our house with no respect. You ain't respecting us, so you got to take your feet to the mother freaking street. And so then money comes into play. You ain't got no job. You ain't trying to work. You ain't giving us no money. We gave you a little bit of leeway. But you done stretched that out for almost 2 months. Now see, Bill, he said he got a job. Bill said he an author out here. He said that he making money through being an author. Is that right, Bill? You the next Stephen King? Why is it? I have never heard of you, and I'm a reader. I have never heard of you. Have y'all, sisters, have y'all done went and bought Bill's book? I mean, before this show, did y'all know who he was? Because see, he said that he out here making big moves. He got talking about movie projects. Excuse me, Bill. You mean to tell me somebody wants to make a movie out your book? I smell lice. I don't think so, Bill. I don't think so. Where the money at? Because see, if your book was flying off of the shelves, why you getting money from your girlfriend and her mama? See, if you have money, if this book is flying off of the shelves and you got a little bit of money in your pocket, why are you making a big deal about you going to a hotel? Bill, you have been rude and you have been disrespectful. Again, Sharna and Mark haven't been the best roomies, but it's their house. See, that's the difference between you and them. It's their house. So you got to go. The minute you accuse Sharna of all the things you accuse her of, it was time for you to go. Period. And then his slick tongue come talking about their marriage. Come talking about, listen, I'm about to get married. Y'all about to get divorced. Ha! I was like, ooh, you a nasty something. Y'all fussing all the time. You ain't gonna last. You're screaming. Why you worried about it, Humpty Dumpty? Why you worried about their marriage? You worried about your girlfriend. So, of course, Mark and Sharna was like, that's not true. That's not true. How about when they was hugging on each other? And how about when inside there was Mark, Sharna, and Bill was still being disrespectful to Sharna's face. Talking about she's rude, she's condescending, she's foul. Sharna said, I ain't taking this. Sharna gets up and she walks off. Mark gets up and walks off. There is no way. I don't care if I was a heifer of all heifers. You ain't gonna be in my house talking to me like that. You're not gonna do it. Get your stuff and get out. Because see, now this caused problems, like serious problems. So Sharna is saying, I don't feel comfortable with you being here. And so here's Bill. What about Mark? Mark, you can't speak? He says, I'm with my wife. She don't feel comfortable. You talking down to us. You're not respecting us. You got to go. Period. Bill still fussing. Bill, please leave. It's time for you to leave. Go out, get you a hotel, have your girlfriend wire you some money so you can, you know, be a best-selling author. It's time for you to move on. And that's it, y'all. That is it. Y'all know what to do. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, friends. Bye.